Would you believe that in this quaint English village, one of the most compelling comeback stories in mixed martial arts is currently unfolding? I'm UFC commentator John Gooden, and today I'm going to be hanging out with UFC light heavyweight Modestas Bukauskas. It has been a fascinating watch looking at the journey of the Lithuanian-born Brit who aced the regional scene, got signed by the big show, only to face significant injury that threatened his career and also led to him getting his marching papers from the UFC. Delighted to say that things are much brighter now for Modestas as he is on a 3-fight win streak with the Ultimate Fighting Championship, and I'm here to find out how and why he's managed to get here as he looks to face down the biggest challenge of his career in pool play.
Yes,
good morning.
Mate. How's it going? You all good, yeah?
Very good.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Mate, this is not where I reckon most people would look to find an elite level fighter.
Yeah. Oh, mate. I think this is like one of the oldest buildings in the area or something.
It looks like it.
So yeah. It's we often like have people who like walk in just like obviously round the lanes and everything, like come around like taking photos and stuff like that. So
not just of you.
No,
well.
yeah.
That's coming soon.
Not just photos of me flexing. You know what I mean?
Well, look, give us the tour.
Yeah, let's do it.
Mate, I've known you so long now, but we've never really had an opportunity to sit down like this and really kind of tread through your journey. So I'm excited to hang out today and learn a little bit more about how it all came together. I guess the starting point for me is we see the Lithuania flag when you come out. It's on the tail of the tape as well. But when I speak to you, of course, you sound like I do.
Yeah.
Very much from the same part of the world, that Watford twang that we've got. So yeah, obviously it's your dad, I guess.
Yeah.
But you were born in Lithuania,
Yes,
is that right?
I was, yeah.
So take us through like your early life.
Yeah, so I was born in Klaipėda, Lithuania. I don't remember too much, but essentially, yeah, at 3 years old, we moved to the UK. Most of my memories, like I would say, like obviously I've got like a strong Lithuanian heritage, like obviously like I properly like support and represent Lithuania to the highest degree, but you know, at the same time I also represent Great Britain as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Since I've been living here, like literally my whole of pretty much most of my school life has been in the UK.
You are quite nomadic even today with your training, aren't you?
Yeah.
I see a few, like there's always a, how do we say it, like a superstar cornerman or corner person that comes in. There's always your dad, and there might be Danny, and then there'll be someone else. But it's like you give someone else the opportunity, and it might be because you've got a different flavour from training somewhere else. Do you think perhaps your early beginnings of being around a few different places is why perhaps you still with that core family of your dad there, you still go around and try different things out?
Yeah, no, 100. And I feel like as I've gotten older, I've sort of realised that different stages of your life present like sort of different things that you may need to change, or you need to adapt, or you need to add and stuff like this. And you know, maybe certain things in your career go like very well, and that at some point you realise like, you know, maybe things aren't going so well. Okay, so maybe I need to change it. I feel like they're kind of signs from the high heavens that, you know, essentially you need to change something, otherwise you're going to continue going in the same trajectory unless you sort of do something different. I think each stage of my life, each stage of my career presents a different opportunity to learn, to grow, and the thing that works at the time is the thing that I know that I need, essentially.
Yeah, I understand. So my mum didn't have English parents, and listening to her Arabic side and an Irish side, very different kind of parenting.
Yeah.
What was it like to be brought up with Lithuanian parents?
Oh yeah, well, so obviously my dad was all about discipline and hard work, and the thing is, my dad was always like treating me like in a way for me to be a good person in the world. Do you know what I mean?
Right, okay.
So I think that's where like maybe
That's a great start.
Yeah, 100%. Like maybe my empathetic and kind side comes out because that's the way I've been brought up to be polite and stuff like this, and they really like nail that into us.
We got to talk about your dad's background then, because the martial arts influence definitely comes from him.
Well, it's funny because he actually started out in swimming. So he was actually he was one of the top 10 swimmers in the country, and
Really?
he was actually trying to work towards an Olympic dream. But being in the army and being around because all the countries in the Soviet Union, there's like loads of them. So obviously he's met like so many different backgrounds, but that's essentially where his sort of martial arts journey sort of like really started, and he started like picking up techniques, and he sort of developed his own style sort of. He calls it Gintas Combat Self-Defense, and that was the name of the gym that he opened up in Watford was Gintas Combat. So it all stemmed from like a lot of his life lessons with the karate, with like all the different fight styles that you learn in the army, and he sort of just blended it all together and made his own thing. He used to fight back in the day when there wasn't necessarily a lot of like mainstream like MMA going on. This was like before before the first UFC event. They were like licensed, unlicensed fighting and stuff like this. Like the rule sets were different and stuff like this, but
probably not many.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. like gloves, like you see in like the old VHS tapes, they look like literally like plastic bags on your hands. Do you know what I mean? With like helmets and gis, but then you're like literally anything goes. So back in the day, it was called No Holds Barred, and he was like the Soviet Union heavyweight champion. So.
Very cool. Now, one of the things that I think so compelling about your story right now is that you have definitely shown that you have the minerals for this, because the universe has chucked a few things your way, which definitely could have given you a way out. And you encountered one of the most violent injuries that we've seen, but I can talk about that now because look where you are now, and look what you've built back from. But if you don't mind indulging, like it's not everyone that can come back from that.
Yeah.
Oh! That's it! Wow.
I have never seen nothing like that.
Roundtree Jr.
Oh my goodness.
TKO due to the leg kicks.
So a lot of people don't know. Before the fight, about 10 weeks out, I actually had like a pretty serious knee injury. I had essentially 2 torn meniscuses, and like my ACL was like pretty torn as well. And the doctor said, like, look, your muscles are strong enough to be able to hold it in place, but you're going to need to get this sorted out like straight away.
Right.
So I just literally obviously had my head forward, like I'm going to go in there, I'm going to do my thing. But like literally even in the locker room just before we went out, I remember it like kind of it clicked out of the place, and like I sort of kicked the wall and it clicked back in place. And this is literally just when Paddy finished his opponent, and then they said literally you're up like within 5 minutes. But do you know what? Like I said, it was my choice to go and do that. And, like I still felt confident I would win the fight. That's why, like, I didn't let that bother me. Like, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to do my thing. And then obviously Khalil came out a completely different animal than what he'd shown in the past.
Right.
He'd had a complete change in his mindset. Fair play to him and his team, because to see that I was heavy on that front foot, to capitalize on that. Like I say, there's a lot of things online and people saying, oh, this move should be illegal, you're like ending people's careers. Well, clearly it hasn't ended my career. Like, at the end of the day, it's a completely legal strike. He did what he had to do, and this is fighting. I chose this for a reason, so I'm completely cool with that.
Can I just rewind to the moment that it happened?
Yeah.
What did you, when he landed that strike, and we could see, obviously something serious had just happened.
Yeah.
In your mind, what are you thinking?
At the time, I was thinking, I just lost another fight. Like, this is not the way that I wanted, obviously, things to go. And, I just felt like I was in a bit of a nightmare at that time. Like, even when they were taking me off on the stretcher and then taking me to the hospital, I remember I was just emotionally, like, completely, like, cut off from the world. Do you know what I mean? I was just sitting there like seriously sad, but I didn't want to be connected with anything. I just want to sit there and just sort of deal with these emotions just like there in that moment. You know what I mean? It's very hard to explain, because like thinking like my UFC dream, as quick as it happened, it was over. Like already like kind of thinking like that, but then coming back home, I was still trying to stay motivated that hopefully there's sort of a glimmer of light, that maybe they'll just give me one more chance, especially since I just got a serious knee injury. But when we got back home, I got the MRI done. They said my ACL was literally hanging on by like one fiber, like one small fiber. Said the MCL was completely shot, and both meniscuses were torn even worse, and one of them actually tore off the bone.
Where was your mind at with regards the career part? Because I would imagine if you break it down like a project, first things first, you got an injury and the rest of your life, your mobility, but all of your career is linked to the satisfactory recovery and some, right? It's really got to be repaired. So what was your mind doing with all of these different variables?
Well, I mean, I couldn't do anything at the time. I was literally just sitting in bed the whole time. I felt like a bit of a burden on my parents, you know, having to ask them to bring me food and stuff like that, because it was so hard for me to get up and out of bed. And obviously my bed is actually, it's not very high, it's like very low to the floor. So obviously getting up on my crutches and like going to the toilet and stuff like this, it was very difficult, because again, I had to try and make sure that I didn't bend my leg and stuff like this. I had to keep it in like this locked brace for a little bit as well.
Rough time.
Oh yeah, it was not fun at all. There were a couple of times where I would end up, you know, especially when things got really really bad for me mentally. It wasn't a good habit, like I admit, but you know, like even drinking myself to sleep, like having like a couple of beers just because I just didn't want to be in the world. I just thought, well, at least if I'm drunk, I don't have to feel like I'm present.
Wow.
Like, so I can just feel like I'm somewhere else. Like even on the pain medication as well. Like, at least I'm off with the fairies and I don't have to think about what's going on right now.
Was it that dark for you?
Yeah. I was in a relationship at the time, and you know, things started going south there as well. And then you know, ultimately ended up with me getting the call that I've been cut by the UFC.
How far into the
so
rehab?
At first I watched, I think it was about a month and a bit. It was about
so you were still in a lot of pain.
Yeah. So it was about a month and a bit, and my dad didn't even know how to react. He's like, why the hell? Like in his head, he was thinking, and you told me about this after. He's like, why the hell does my son have to go through all this? Like, why does he have to endure this? Like, he almost thinks like, why can't I take some of this pain? Do you know what I mean? So you know, just obviously being my dad and that, but yeah, but he was already on the path of like redemption already from the. He's always like calculating things in his head, trying to think of like different training methods and stuff like that, things that we could do to get better essentially. So when that call came, you know, I ended up breaking up with my missus at the time, like shortly after this. You know, obviously my knee's in this brace. I can't do anything about it. I've just been cut from the UFC. You know, everyone's online just saying how crap you are and stuff like this, and he shouldn't have been in the UFC and blah blah blah. So there was a lot of bad things, but it was almost like a motivating thing for me, because I'm like, imagine if the story would just end there. Got his knee blown up, and then that's it. He just rode off into the sunset. The thing is, one of my goals as a kid was to be a professional athlete, but on top of that, I wanted to be at the highest level of that sport and be the best in the sport, right? That's always been my goals as a kid, and especially when I started playing sports. Like, ultimately, it didn't go well. It didn't go that way for me in basketball, but it was sort of going that way in MMA. And it's like, the story's not finished. Do you know what I mean? Because I haven't achieved really what my life goal was to be the best. And you know, I was only 27 at the time when the injury happened. I turned 28, so that it happened in September, and then in February I turned 28, and I'm like thinking to myself, like, do you know what? Like, I'm still very young. Like, I could go back to fighting and then get back into the UFC, like, you know, in a couple of years. So this is, you know, all I got to do is just. So all I did was focus on my rehab. Yeah, so many people counting me out. It's almost like I used like the sort of hate from everyone else and people telling me that I couldn't do it. That actually gave me more motivation and fuel to show people that, hold on a minute, I can do it and I'm going to prove it to you lot. Like, some people say that having hate as fuel is not a good thing. Like, it's, oh, you should be doing it for yourself. And yeah, I am doing it for myself. But proving those people wrong is giving me that added, like, you know, kind of fire under my belly, just to say, like, you know, yeah, maybe you can't do it, but I can. Do you know what I mean? You want to leave your mark on this earth, you know, and it's a very hard thing to do. You know, there's some truly special individuals out there that have managed to do that, especially in combat sports, you know, like Muhammad Ali and Michael Jordan and stuff like this. But I want to make my mark on this world, and I figured that my path, or God's plan for me, was to show that anyone, no matter what situation, can come back from adversity and they can make a difference. And they can still go out and achieve their goals no matter what obstacles placed in front of them. Yeah.
Love it, man. Love it. It is truly inspiring to come back from all of that. I'm going to talk to you about Paul Craig later.
Yeah.
Right now, shall we take a look at the spot where you train here?
Yeah,
Is
let's
that
do
okay?
it. Yeah, let's do it. The Shack of Doom.
I love it.
Yeah, so this is
the lab, is it?
the training lab. Yeah, this is where all the literally blood, sweat, and tears happens.
This is the incredible space. How did this come about? Did you guys build this?
Yeah, we did. So essentially, this whole garden area was actually our neighbours. Like, the whole thing was theirs, but we found out from them that they were actually trying to sell half of it, and the half that was here also had like a little summer house.
Right.
So at first, I mean, the ceiling wasn't quite as high. It was like literally like just to where you can get underneath it with your head and everything.
Yeah.
The walls were flimsy, and but we used it for like years. Like, literally, I remember we were just like training in the we just called it the shack. Do you know what I mean? It was like literally just a shack in our back garden. But yeah, so it just came to a point where we're just like, you know, we're creating a lot of noise for everyone as well. Like, obviously, when we're training in the middle of the day. And you know,
upsetting the horses and the sheep.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we basically just like got some planning permission to basically just build a facility, because we figured, listen, if we're going to be training like proper full-time athletes, we need a facility that allows us to do so. And ever since we created this, I mean, like, literally, I've bought training partners here. I've had sparring, we've done grappling, and I still to this day do that.
And this place was key to your rehabilitation, I take it?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, there's so many different things. Like, I was using like that blue square just to like do like balancing stuff. Like, even the gymnastic ball, and yeah, this is the place where I started doing like more of my like wrestling, like athletic stuff. So it was like just slowly building. But
yeah, I see you've got your knee brace and crutches over there. Do you want to bring those over here?
Yeah. You can see it's all very dusty now. Hasn't been touched in a while, but
when you look at all of this stuff, what does it say to you?
Well, it's just to me, it just paints the picture of the journey. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, it's funny. I look at it and like it instantly just makes me feel sad, because I'm like, I know like how dark of a time it was, like going through all of that when I was just, like I say, just sitting there in my bed with my leg like stretched out and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it's a journey, but it's like I said, like you almost kind of feel thankful, because I definitely wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for that injury. So yeah.
It's a mad way of looking at it, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. People look at me and they think I'm nuts. Like, how the hell could this be one of the best things that happened to you? But genuinely, I don't think I would have corrected the errors. Like, you only start correcting things when things aren't going your way. So, you know, I had to make a load of changes, and yeah, I'm lucky I did. Back to the old stomping grounds.
See what you got.
Nostalgia's kicking in already.
Onto the court.
Yeah.
One-on-one. Just rocking
One-on-one, yeah? we playing horse, or we doing
Oh dear. I think I played that with the Americans. Didn't go so well for me.
show off the moves, isn't it?
You've got to show off the moves. You've got to teach me, show me what you got. Yeah, I think I could be in trouble here.
Oh!
Right, nice. I mean, take
That
two,
would have been great if it
take
would have
two.
went in there. Yeah, I've got more of a prowess of dribbling than shooting. Oh,
I'm interested about your trip to America though.
yeah.
So how old were, what was the thing? Was it like a scholarship to play basketball?
Nah, so basically I got to quite a decent level, obviously playing on the regional sort of scene. And then my basketball coach for my like club team, he went to a school in Louisiana for high school because he was pretty much pursuing the same thing, and he still knew the coach and he was still in contact with him. So he said, listen, if you want to take a trip to America and go and play high school basketball, here's your route. So yeah, pretty much they sent some tape over and then they said, yeah, like bring him over. Yeah, it was quite a crazy experience just for a kid from London playing in, you know, Hammond, Louisiana. So,
yeah, I bet it was. How old were you?
I was 16 to 18.
16 to 18. How do you reckon those experiences as a young man out in America help build your confidence and be a bit more of a man of the world?
I sort of, like, I discovered myself out there. Because I was a very quiet kid. Like I said, I wasn't very popular when I was younger. So being in a situation where it was almost like a modern day episode of Saved by the Bell. Do you know what I mean? Like cheerleaders everywhere. It's a completely different lifestyle. You know, you're not like everyone else. So having to adjust, and I think when I went there, I definitely didn't seem like the stereotypical type of English dude. Because like I said, I wasn't the most popular kid, but...
So not quite what they'd see like a Harry Potter style kid turning up.
Yeah. There you go. Nothing wrong with the hoop, mate. I just had to get my shot flowing, you know what I mean?
So how many times did you go out to America to train MMA?
It was only it's twice. So I went when Jackson Wink just opened their new facility, and then at that time I was training with Andrei Orlovsky and a couple of other guys. And the second time I went, obviously John Jones was there, Phil Hawes, you know, Derek Brunson, Cerrone. You know, they had a whole host of like, you know, top level athletes. Condit was there.
Holy shit.
I mean, it was mad.
Did you get to Jones? Did you get to spar with him much?
I sparred with him like literally like a couple times a week, every week for like
Really?
10 weeks. Yeah.
What was that like?
I mean, obviously you're sparring the greatest of all time, but it was nice to feel, it was nice to see that my skills were being appreciated. So, and that was when I was like...
because you must have been of value. For them to want to entertain rounds with Jones, you would have had to be giving them something.
Yeah, no, 100%. So it made me realise that, like, I'm good. Do you know what I mean? I just need to sort of unlock that in the cage. And yeah, now like we got very friendly, and yeah, we like literally sparred, like I said, most days for like 10 weeks. So it was a mad experience just get to train with such a high caliber guy, you know, and get some great rounds in as well, you know. So yeah.
I think that's a good one to end it on.
Perfect.
So Dad, I've known you since before I met Modestas.
Yeah,
back
many
in
years.
2009, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, it is. 2009, yeah.
It's been a while. You have your team, which we're going to go and see one of your old buildings a little bit later. One of the things that I wanted to talk to you about, though, it's such a unique setup when you have this father-son business in fighting. We see it as plasterers. I work with my dad as an electrician, but with fighting, I think our roles as parents sometimes is we kind of shield our children from a lot of stuff, but there are weirdly quite a number of you guys in the UK that are coaching your kids in the fight game, but also to great success as well. So I guess the first question top line is, You know, how do you feel about Modestas taking your road into like martial arts and becoming a prize fighter?
For me, it was like just actually letting him to decide himself what he wants to do. But since he was like kid, I think once seen some big newspaper, it was about me, some written long time ago. It was just back in Lithuania, and he said, "I want to be professional actor. Doesn't matter, it's fighting or." And here we go. Now he's following my steps in fighting.
Yeah. And your background, Modestas was talking about it a little bit earlier, sounds like some really gnarly old school style of fighting back in the USSR days.
Yes, it was because it was like kind of half illegal fights. Beginning, it was just sometimes we just, for example, place where you're playing basketball, everything big arena, it's on wooden floor. So takedowns was on wooden floor, wow. Not on a mat.
God, can you imagine?
Yeah, and if something happens, when we stop and everything's like, looks people just playing basketball, not fighting, you know. So it's kind of like this.
How do you like MMA as you see it now? You've been through very different iterations. The sport's growing really fast, but you've seen it from quite early days. Yeah, what do you think about how the sport's progressed into what you see now?
I think it's amazing. I mean, particular opportunities for kids who are very talented and can choose an MMA. I think it's still more safe sport because so many ways to win, so many ways to lose, and I think it's much better, and I think big opportunities also.
Yeah.
But again, those guys get on the top, not on the bottom.
Yeah. So is if you don't mind answering this, is your business, and has your business always been as a martial arts coach?
I had my gym back. I really have my club, we can say, since 1986.
Okay.
And I'm teaching since, so it's nearly 40 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you grew up on the mats, essentially?
Pretty much, mate. Like literally.
Yeah,
exactly. I literally had no choice at that point, but yeah.
So yeah, a young kid, Modestas, steps onto the mats or the ring or the cage. Like, how did you first feel about that? Knowing that it's, look, make no bones about it, it's a tough gig, right? And we all know what can happen.
Yeah, because then you're going to know it's high level, everybody's going to take you out. I don't know, again, I had to switch, like, because you can't, if you just put, and everything is very bad, because then you, on your emotions, can do something not right. You have to be professional as you coach, but obviously you can't take this still your son, you know, you still, but you have to hold emotions not to do anything, not to let it get out. They say keep inside, and then when we already get to our, you know, hotel room or whatever, then we can talk about it.
Yeah.
So it's tough, but
yeah.
Now we're used to this. It's kind of like, it's professional, it's job, and you have to look that.
Dad's a lot more relaxed now whenever we go into fights.
What was it? What did he used to be like?
Well,
then?
I just remember back in the day, like, I don't know, he would always seem like a little bit more like kind of tense and nervous. But as my skill set sort of developed and I've gone through more things in my career, and you know, I've kind of seen it all really. I think it just made him a little bit more comfortable with me going out. And like I said, he knows the best out of anyone how I perform in training and what I'm capable of. So that's what gives him sort of the comfort, I guess you could say, when I am walking out, because like, if he performs like I know he can, this is going to be no problem. And I guess it probably did help seeing me compete so many years as a kid, and cornering me every single time. And so he knows what things to say to sort of get me going, to pull off certain moves and stuff like this. And but as time goes on, we're just getting better with handling that whole situation together as a team, really.
What's been your favourite moment that you shared with your dad?
Well, there's two for me that stand out. One is actually when I won my Cage Warriors title for the first time against Hamlet. You know, just because the odds were like stacked against us so much in that fight. I remember I'd visualised quite a lot of things, and one of the things I visualised, which now they keep replaying a lot of times with Cage Warriors, is like for Father's Day and stuff, is when I was able to put the belt on Dad's shoulder, because I told him like we're gonna get this, you know what I mean? So that was quite a special moment for me. But definitely that, along with the debut, my second debut, in Australia,
100%.
just because I just remember this vividly. I can't describe it. I don't know how it happened or whatever, but as we're walking out, I just see like loads of like flashes of light, obviously. Dad's parents like passed away quite a while ago, and especially his dad. And I could just see their faces like out in the distance somewhere, and just like their faces rush into me.
No
like,
way.
and I can't describe it. I don't know how it happened. I don't know what like.
What
I was
brought
just
it on?
Yeah, I don't know what brought it on. But then as soon as I saw that, I literally like shook Dad and said like, I can see your parents, so like we're gonna win this fight.
And you did.
And then next thing you know, so I think that was like a proper like, it was just a crazy moment. Like I felt like I had the spirit of like my family with me. Do you know what I mean? When I was going out there, and like this is my time now, as opposed to my first run. So yeah, that I think was probably one of the things that definitely stands out to me for sure.
Although I am the champion here, I want to say, first off, thank you obviously to all my lovely fans of support and my family and my friends. You lot are exceptional. I want to thank my teammates, everyone who's here in my team, Danny, Dennison. But there's one person who has been there with me through it all. He's never given up on me. Times where it looked like I was down and out, he was always there to come back and tell me, son, you're going to be a champion one day. And lo and behold, it's happened. So I want to put the belt on my father's shoulder.
So yeah, got to see you at work on the mats here at BST. I don't know if this is good timing or not, but obviously the grappling class as well. We haven't spoken about your next fight, but Paul Craig, obviously an appropriate class to be attending today.
Yeah, 100%.
We all know what Paul Craig likes to do most of all, right?
Yeah. Nah, 100%. Obviously, you know, Paul Craig's, he's absolutely lethal on the floor. I mean, you know, he's submitted a load of very high-level guys, like a lot of guys in the top 15 as well. So obviously, we have to make sure that we're catering ourselves to be able to handle whatever he wants to throw at us, obviously, on the floor.
So when you heard the name Paul Craig hit the desk, come across on the messages, however it landed, like what were your first thoughts?
Well, do you know what? It's funny. I felt like, and Paul Craig even said it, I felt like that fight probably should have happened earlier, or it could have very well like happened earlier in both our careers. So it was always a fight that was probably on the radar at some point. You know, we didn't know when it was going to happen. We didn't know at what stage in our careers that would be at, but it was probably going to be a fight that would happen. You know, you've got UK number 1 and 2 pretty much, and like who's going to take that number 1 spot. So yeah, I mean, when I got Paul Craig, I knew like he's very experienced. You know, beating some top level guys. You know, and you've seen a lot of improvements in his game as well, and he's fought the top level. So you know, like he's got a wealth of experience on him. Very good on the floor. I just saw it as like this is an amazing opportunity.
I went over the champ.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, exactly. Went over the champ as well, and it's like, you know, to beat a guy like that would, you know, speak volumes for me. So obviously I'm going to take that challenge on like head on, and yeah, it just got me very excited.
What's your headline for this fight? I've spoken to enough of you guys in the past. There's always like a story going into a particular fight. So I'm interested for this particular one, if you've worked it out yet. I know we're kind of earlier on in camp.
Yeah.
But is there like a headline or a particular story for this one?
Breaking into the top 15. That's going to be the headline for this one, because I feel with a big win here, that's what I'm going to go and do. You know, so that's ultimately what I've been asking for, what I've been wanting. You know, coming off of 3 straight wins, make that 4, make that another finish. I think that gives me a massive argument to be fighting in the top 15 and working my way towards the top. So breaking into the top 15.
Love it.
Yeah.
One thing that I'm picking up from your journey, Mo, is the level of sacrifice. Like I don't think people realise just how much you guys have to give up, turn away, like turn a different corner from all the time. Why are you so willing to take on this life of sacrifice to pursue your dream?
Well, because I realise it's the only way. Like, you look at the extremely high level guys, the ones that are champions, they're all doing exactly the same thing. Like, Ilia Topuria's got his own like facility at his house, and he's doing everything possible that he can to make him the best. If you look at like how the game normally goes, you know, people usually retire around 38, 39 for the most part, right? So that means I've got about 7-8 years left in the game. That is nothing. That time's going to blow past me. And if I want to, you know, sort of mess around and not do things properly, I'm sort of wasting my time here. You know what I mean? Like, I want to reach my full potential, and the only way that I can reach my full potential is by doing everything the correct way. Like, sacrifice, and for me it's not a sacrifice, for me it's joy, you know what I mean? Right. People say, oh, you can't go out here, you can't go on holiday there, and you know, people frown upon you for not doing what society would deem as the norm. Yeah, exactly. But I'm willing to put myself in those situations, because I know it's the only way. Not only I'm going to improve as myself as a human being, but obviously in my sport. And these guys at the top, they're not going to be slacking. So I need to be keeping up with. If I want to be a champion, I've got to live like a champion. Yeah. And I really don't mind doing that. And for me, this is like a once in a lifetime opportunity.
How much out of like a percentage? How much have we seen so far of you in the octagon?
We've definitely not seen the full Baltic Gladiator. There's definitely more that I need to unlock in there, but I feel like every fight I'm doing a little bit more, or overcoming a little bit of something in order for myself to do that. So you know, I'm doing the right things, I'm learning the right lessons, I'm going in the right direction, and I'm really looking forward to, especially on September 6th, to go out and throw down with Paul Craig, because I do believe that you're going to see, you know, as cliche as it is to say, you know, you're going to see the best Baltic Gladiator, because there's a lot of things that I've been working on, and I'm ready just to implement it and put it out there. I can't be suffering for all this time for me not to go and do that. So I'm really just going to go out there and enjoy it, and that's the main thing. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Thank you for letting me come by today. You've been so honest and open with all of the probably quite challenging questions about some pretty dark times that you've had as well. So I appreciate you allowing me to come along and see how you work and get to know you a bit better.
Mate, it's been an absolute pleasure. I've had a really good time, and mate, I really appreciate you, brother, and I'm going to go on and put on some more good performances for your viewing pleasure.
I look forward to it. Thank you, mate. Thank you very much. It's my job day to day to be deeply ingrained in mixed martial arts, and I kind of take for granted the stories that I come across. But spending time with Modesta today really reminded me just how extraordinary some of these men and women are in MMA. Take Modestas' story, for example, building all the way up to the UFC, facing a career-threatening injury, and then losing his job, but then building back, becoming a champion again, and going on this incredible run in the UFC. It is so inspirational. The sacrifice that he is making, putting everything that most normal adults would like to aim for, putting all of that on hold just for his dream. And he's got his dad by his side as well, which makes this even more special. You can't help but respect it, and you're probably going to be pulling for it. First up, September, Paris. Paul Craig, the battle for the best UK light heavyweights. I urge you to watch it.